With that agreement, what occurred is that funding formula was developed by the 22 First Communities input of what really it would cost to provide a sound education in our communities based on our values, our beliefs, traditions, and so forth. So that formula, what occurred is that it was then presented to a technical team and with Indigenous services and said, this is what it cost. This is the real cost that our communities require to service and to educate our children based on our needs. Surprisingly, that agreement that was agreed to.
The way I like to look at this agreement is it is historic now because the chronic underfunding for our primary schools and high schools is going to become a thing of the past. With this agreement now, we'll have the resources available to do education the way we want to based on, the needs and the wants of Kahnawake. So, it's no longer going to be the role of a principal or an associate principal to write a proposal and look for funding. We actually have the resources going forward to properly educate and ensure that the services are fulfilled.
We want it to strengthen the education in Kahnawake. Myself, I've been working in the community for 50 years in different areas of education, and my goal right now is to have more students attend Kahnawake Survival School in the coming years, and we have plans in place to show the community that we're serious about attracting kids with standards of education rising, and then also in terms of sports programs being introduced.
It'll give us the opportunity to have that little bit of leeway, so to speak, to create more programming for not only for the languages but the cultural aspect of it too, and more leeway to have the funding for special needs students and the funding for the special needs educators.
I think it's going to allow us to staff our schools and services the way they should be staffed. So that's going to be from a human resource perspective. But it's also going to allow students to, be more successful in the future. So the resources that they require now are going to be available. Those resources are going to lead to, more success for the students.
This has really been a pleasant surprise. I was invited to come over here and see the culmination of 50 years of work, and it's kind of incredible when you think about it. At the time when we began this in the early 80s, we had a good crew. We had, say Kenneth Deere and Randy Peterson were involved for quite a while in the local issues, Eddie Cross and myself, and a host of teachers that were, and principals that were dedicated to what's going on. At the time, there was no big money. That was kind of a blessing in some sense, in that nobody could develop an attitude. Nobody was, clawing for something. We had to buy into how we were going to establish the system. You don't realize it when you think back in 1985 or something, when we really started getting rolling on it, and we assigned some people to it, and you say, well, how's this going to last? And it has, it's been persevered because of the timing of people that were involved, the necessity, and I guess getting the responsibility that you really can't drop the ball. Once you've taken this on, you got to finish it. And this folks finished it, and with a succession of people in between. It's been great. It's gratifying.
It's going to be funding that, it's sustainable, it's predictable, and we can better service our children. Our teacher salaries will be up to par. Language and culture dollars are in there. So there's so many areas that we identified we need, and we were celebrating that today of the official signing of the agreements.